Hey guys, Michelle Lim here. Today I want to talk about why you should not do cop-out material. Or, I don't know if cop-out is an Australian term or not, but another word is like kind of like cheap jokes. Okay, why you should not do cheap jokes in your comedy. So, I know when you're starting out, it's kind of hard to write material because maybe you don't have very many ideas or you're just kind of not comfortable and you haven't found your comedy voice yet. So a lot of the times people will just resort to doing really cheap jokes and it's either like A, kind of making fun of something that's really obvious about them. So for a lot of ethnic comedians, it's their race, or B, they just do a lot of really dirty jokes, which is just like super crass and it's just about sex. Well, actually, it's probably just all about sex, which I don't know. I mean, what are there any other crude jokes that are not about sex? I'm not sure. Let me know. Um, and it's just annoying for me. Like I feel like if I want to go to a comedy show, I want to see people that have a really interesting perspective on things and someone that has made really good observations about society or is making like a social comment about things, but they're doing it in a really clever way. And that's why I love comedy. I love going to comedy shows. That's like my most enjoyable thing about comedy shows is when I find someone and they're so funny and they've got all these little hidden messages in there and they've kind of cloaked them in humor and you're thinking, wow, this guy or girl is like amazing. They've got all these great points that they're trying to make about society, but they're doing it in a really funny way. And I feel like that's really good. So really quickly, I wanted to shout out to this YouTube channel that I found called Dry Bar Comedy, and they call themselves like the largest selection of clean comedy, I don't know, material or videos or whatever on YouTube, which is actually a really good site. And I've watched a couple of the videos on there, and I actually really like it because they pride themselves in being a clean comedy selection. So it's good inspiration for you, and it's a good resource for you to see how people can take seemingly mundane or maybe everyday things and turn them into something really funny without resorting to swearing um, or like crudity. And it's actually a lot harder than you think to make jokes about things without having to resort to swearing. It's super, super hard and very rewarding when you do that because then you can get booked for all these different things, corporate gigs, bar mitzvahs, family events, etc., right? So for me, when I go to a comedy show and I see like an Asian or an Indian person, I guess I relate more to them. And they just come up and they just do all these jokes about being Asian, but it's like all about stereotypes, and I feel like it's really cringy for me. So I would implore you guys, if you are starting out, or even if you're not starting out, if you've been doing comedy for a while and that is the majority of the material, I would encourage you to try to branch out a little bit and think about a couple of different avenues that you can do. Um, mainly because when you do things like just talking about Asian stereotypes or like you're making fun of your parents' accents, which I feel is very mean. Firstly, it's not their fault they have an accent and they have moved to a different country to give you guys a better life, right? It doesn't really create an equal playing field, and it still promotes the image that people can laugh at those things, which we don't want to happen, man. It's 2019. If you're laughing at shit like that, you need to stop laughing at things like that. So I definitely talk about my experience as an Asian Australian person growing up, but I don't say things like, oh, Asian people eat dog, or like, my parents have a funny accent, because I just feel like it's lame, it's super basic, and it takes away from, the complexity of people as a race. Like, we're not just like a bunch of stereotypes and accents, right? We have like three-dimensional personalities and a lot of different things going for us. And for you to pinpoint one thing and just poke fun at it, and it's not even making a point, it's just literally saying, like, let's laugh at this person because they have a funny accent. I don't know, it doesn't do anything for me, and I really hope that everyone can stop doing things like that. So that's my public service announcement to you guys. Touching on that, like I'm not saying you can't use swearing or be crude in your jokes. Like Chris Rock is my favorite comedian or one of my favorite comedians, and he is like super. He swears a lot in his jokes, and he has quite crude like imagery, but he has a point to all of the jokes that he tells, and he's doing like social commentary or observations, and he makes it work. So I guess if you are doing that and you've got social commentary that you're cloaking in amongst these like crude words or like swearing or whatever, then that's fine. As long as you've got something deeper than just relying on the swearing or the crudity to get the punchline across. Good for you, man. Do your thing. It's cool. Yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say. Uh, yeah, that's it. Don't be lame on stage and reinforce stupid stereotypes because it's annoying for everybody and people don't want to see that anymore. All right, bye.